what it takes.
Don't, please.
No, you do. I don't blow smoke, and I've interviewed over 1,000 people, and you were up there, and I'm sure the people watching this are seeing, how strong you are to relive these things by recounting them, because that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Moving on, Sean.
All right. Well,
Be nice to me, please.
Here's.
Yeah.
All right. So I know what this is leading up to.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep going with this story?
Yeah, okay. I do. So at that point, he's become the martyr and he's picked up the baby. He's gone to me again, flipping bathroom. And then it's all, Mummy's a psycho, Mummy's to blame.
And he's the victim, of course.
He's the victim, of course.
Typical narcissist.
This is just the small part of it. This has just carried on for months and months and months. And because he was so charismatic, he was able to get away with it. And because people knew me growing up, knew my mum was, they've seen me, she's from a broken home, she's the one to blame. Anyway, so I've called the police on numerous occasions, but it was back in the day. I think it's different now, where the police will still carry on the charge regardless of whether the victim drops the charges or not. I think it's something like that, but back in the day there wasn't. It's like if you drop the charges, then it's dropped. So I've called the police on numerous occasions when he's battered me, and then I've dropped the charges, a day later or so.
You've kind of skipped over that.
Oh, sorry.
When you say that he's battered you,
yeah.
How severe was that?
Oh, like black eyes, bruised face, a lot of the time in the back, the stomach, places where people couldn't see. And because it happened so much, I'm just skirting over it because it was just a regular occurrence on a weekly basis.
Was it with his fists and his legs?
Yeah,
or was it
full.
Did he use anything?
No, always fists. It was always his hands. And I remember one time I was at a pub one time and I was making a phone call, and just out of the blue, he's come behind me, grabbed my hair, dragged me to the floor and just started booting me. Just out of the blue, just because he's had a thought or whatever, or I'm on the phone. I don't know what it was. I mean, this happened all the time. And then eventually he was like, let's move to a different part of the country, like they do.
To have more control over.
To have more control. So I've gone, okay, because otherwise he's going to take my son and I'm never going to see him, and that's the case. We've moved in with his father and stepmother, who've already had a child taken away for a child abuse, which I didn't know till after. So he's gone and put me and my son in this situation. They were the most strangest couple you've ever met. I just knew something wasn't right. So I've phoned my grandma and I've said, look, I need to get a flat. You need to help me with the deposit because I haven't got a job yet. He's dragged me from my job, and she did help me out with the flat. So we've got this flat in Biggleswade, and then he's just started on the cider. He became addicted to like cheap, big 2-litre bottles of cider, and that's just when he just went loose. He'd be on these Xbox games, on this blooming headset to these people, you don't even know who they are, playing these games, thinking this and that on a game. And then something kick off and he'd just go bash and whack me with the controller. I'm getting angry now as I'm talking about it because I'm building up to what happened next. One day, I don't know what triggered it, he's woke me up in the middle of the night. And that's another thing he used to do. In the middle of the night, I'd wake up and he's essaying me because I'm so closed up because of the abuse. I remember one time I opened the door and I was like, I've cooked, something. And he went, oh my God, you're ugly without makeup. And my heart just broke. My spirit was completely crushed. And I was like, you swine. No, do you know what? I don't even think I felt like that. I just felt devastated. Anyways, that was just, on and on and on. One day, he's battered me black and blue. I've got 2 black eyes and my jaw has got bruises all down it. I'm looking at my little boy and he's got, you can tell he's got stress-related issues.
How far into the relationship are you at this point?
Through 3 years.
3 years.
3
You've
years.
been putting up with this for almost 3 years.
From the start, from the very, very start. He is then, where are we at? So my little boy, he's like having like an asthma attack. And now I've done so much research, I realised that asthma is can be trauma related.
Anxiety.
So I've just thought, I need to get out of here. I clearly need to get this boy out of here. I'm just going to ring an ambulance. I've rang an ambulance and they were like, oh, you know, I think he's all right. I'm like, no, he's not all right. I'm going to the ambulance driver, he's not all right. And he's seen me and he's like, oh, okay, we're going to take you to the hospital. I've gone to the hospital and there was a nurse there and she's gone, he didn't need to come here, did he? And I've gone, no. She's given me this leaflet for domestic violence. I said, I can't take that. I can't take it. She's gone, put it in your shoe. Just put it in your shoe. And then she's like, how are you getting home? And I goes, I've got no choice, like, because I was there for, she'd let us, she'd made us tea, give us biscuits, you know. I saw my little boy playing with toys in the hospital, just being free. God, I'm so sorry, Sean.
You fine, Gemma?
But I feel like such a failure. Nobody can hate me.
You were so young, you can't keep blaming yourself.
More than I hate myself, but I hate myself, Sean.
You can't do that. It's in the past, you can't change it. You were a young person. And it was the bad things in life that happened to you that led to this. It was circumstances beyond your control.
Anyway, I've had to ring him up for a lift. And he's going ballistic. He's like, how dare you ring me when I've got work? How dare you? He's like, no, how's my son? Are you all right? He's come in. He's gone hell for leather in the hospital kicking off. And she's just mouthed at me. She's gone, number. Anyway, I've got home. And I've thought, I've got to make a break here. And I plucked up the courage to get on the train and get back to where I used to come from. My mum said, you can't come here, because she's like, I can't deal with him coming here, because she's already a vulnerable person with addiction. She's already lived through trauma. So anyway, I've got into this women's refuge. But again, it's just contact's constant, and he's just ringing me and getting in my head.
Is your son with him at this point? Or you?
Sorry, no, my son's with me.
Okay.
And I've gone back to him like an idiot. Because, I mean, the hostel weren't great. The people weren't, you know, vulnerable. Everyone's kicking off. One girl had even took my son into her room and basically kidnapped him. And she was feeding me. She was only a kid, so I don't blame him. Like, she was obviously, something was not right. And she was feeding me notes under the door saying, you're not getting your son back. So I'm in a position now thinking, what the hell? Am I safer with him? Am I safe here? It's difficult. Like, some women's refuge, they're on the ball, they know, but they just let him come and pick me up. And all the way home, I just knew it was a mistake, because he was like, how dare you leave me? Anyway, another night's come, and this time it's really bad. You know, I'm black and blue. But by this time, I've met two friends. And they've said, somewhere in the process of all this, my little boy went to nursery and for a little bit, and I've got talking to this mum, and she's got a kid, and we've started hanging around with them. And they said, oh, do you want to go to the zoo? So I've gone to the zoo, and I've piled makeup on to cover everything, but they've still seen it. And this one guy said to me, who was in the friendship group, he's like, has he done that to you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, nah, that's not happening. You know what I mean? So I already knew he was on the ball with it, but I just didn't know what was going to come. We've gone back home, and we were with our kids. We shouldn't have had a drink, but we've all had a drink. We've gone for something to eat, gone back to ours. Then the girl that I was with is going, come on, we'll just sneak to the pub, because her boyfriend was all right. That was normal for her to go for a drink, but for me, that's not a normal thing to do. And I was like, I can't sneak to the pub, you don't understand. She's like, you are, just come on. We'll say we're going to the supermarket, you know, just say we're going to the supermarket. She's egged me on. So I've gone, right, okay, okay, we'll do it. I'm gone 15 minutes. He's already getting this other guy that's with us in the friendship circle to come and look for me. He's halfway down the street by the time this guy's gone, you need to come home, just come home. So I'm heading home. He's come out. Sorry, I'm getting close to it, so it's just making me a bit...
It's all right, take your time.
Dizzy. He's walking down the street. She started mouthing at him, and I've just thought, no, don't mouth at him. And then she's gone and smacked him, hasn't she? And I've just seen this look in his eye, just like, I can't even explain, just pure evil. And I've thought, okay. Anyway, this is about, at this point now, there's a mass brawl. There's her fighting him trying to fight her, the guy sticking up for the girl. And I've gone to go back in to see, because the kids are there. So my little boy's asleep at this point. And I've seen a knife on the floor and I've thought, what the hell? Who's got that there? Who's brought that there? It could only be him. So I've thought, he's going to kill me. If he gets up from this fight, he's going to kill me. So I've just grabbed the knife. And I've just stabbed him. I'm just stabbing. And then my friend obviously somehow has got in the way and I've stabbed him. I'm just in a mass rage. Something's come over me, I don't know what, and I've thought, oh my God, what are you doing? I've ran back in the house, I've put the knife in the sink. By this time, he's had a chance to get up, he's ran to the British Legion, Working Men's Club. The next thing I know, armed police have come, get on the effing ground, get on the ground. So I'm put my hands behind my head, I'm on the ground at this point with a gun to me. And all I'm thinking is, what have you done? My little boy's woken up. And he's come. And he's seen me in that position at that moment in time. I thought, well done. You've ruined that boy's life. You've just ruined his life. You should have got him out and you didn't get him out. And then I was arrested for attempted murder. When I'm in the police station, the desk sergeant thought it was a joke to come and get the hatch open and parade every officer that came on duty and go, look at her, bought a wump belt, look at her charge, look at her, face of an angel. And I've just thought, you cow. You know what I mean? It's just so inconsiderate. You know, that was like the first part of the system starting to let me down. It's like they could have seen a victim, not a perpetrator, or both. Yes, I was a perpetrator too, obviously. I'm not denying that, I'm not disputing it. Do I regret it? Yes and no. So where are we now? You know, I've just thought, I'm in a position, I think, I've done it. I'm just going to tell the police I've done it. And I've got a solicitor's phone call. I've finally got hold of a solicitor. She's gone, don't. Just don't, because there's more to this story. And if you go in and say that, you're going to get the longest possible sentence that you're going to get. So thank God I had this solicitor. So I've gone in and got no comment. They've had to remand me. So I'm remanded at this point, but the charge has at least been dropped to GBH with intent because he's come out of surgery with superficial injuries, like just stab wounds to the arms. Luckily, it wasn't the torso. Luckily, I didn't kill him. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. I'd still probably be locked up.
Sounds like you're in a blind frenzy. He wasn't really targeting body parts or anything.
No, I was just in a blind frenzy. It wasn't, you know, I did think he's going to kill me and I just knew I had to stop that from happening. So whatever it resulted in, it resulted in. So, but at this point, my mum's taken my baby. Well, my toddler. But then he's been able to have him. My mum, being my mum, has let me speak to him on the phone, and it was the worst thing she could have done because then he stopped her contact. So now I've got no contact. My mum is the only person in my life at this point because I've only got my mum. She's got no contact. He's now got into another abusive relationship where I've got the paperwork with me of the social service reports where, well, we'll go into that at a later time. But it wasn't healthy for my son, and it was even worse than the situation he was in with me because at least I'm his natural mother, so I've got that bond with him. But when a girl comes in who's also very young, that's also being abused.
Know what that means? Ooh, I've been hearing that a lot lately. That's what I hear when we make another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're selling Pokemon cards or hoodies, Shopify simplifies selling online and in person so you can successfully grow your business. covering all your sales channels from a shop-front-ready POS system to its all-in-one e-commerce platform. Shopify even gets you selling across social media marketplaces like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Full of the industry-leading tools ready to ignite your growth, Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without learning new skills in design or coding. And thanks to award-winning help and with an extensive business course library, Shopify is ready to support your success every step of the way. What's lovely about Shopify is that no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify will be there to empower you with the confidence and control to take your business to the next level. It's time to get serious about selling and get Shopify today. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Sign up for a £1 per month trial period at shopify.co.uk/Sean, SHAUN, all lowercase. Go to shopify.co.uk/Sean to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.co.uk/Sean. Link in description box if you're watching this on YouTube. Thanks for supporting our sponsor. Back to the podcast. Cheers.
She's going to take it out, unfortunately, on that boy. And that's another scale of me letting him down, but talk about something else for a bit.
Yes. So you are on remand then at this point in the story. How old are you at this point?
22, I think. 22.
Okay. So is it a long time period before they take you to trial, and what's happening during that time period?
So a lot of crazy things happened in that time period. It was like 8 months. So I think I was on remand for 8 months. So I've stupidly got into a whirlwind relationship, but that is the father of my 3 children. So it was a success story, okay? So I've ended up getting with him. I've ended up getting pregnant. And yes, you can judge me, and yes, I was stupid, but it happened, and he's here, and he's brilliant. So
Good.
That's one good thing. However, during my time on remand, I'm walking up the street, and a guy's come down the road, suited and booted, all Ralph. You know, I've never seen this kind of character before. You know, he's got an aura, let's say, right? He's gone, I'm going to butcher the Cockney accent now, but he's gone, "Oi, darling." And I've gone, "Yeah." Swoon, you know what I mean? And he's gone, "Are you that one that stabbed a fella up?" I've gone, "Yeah." Thinking, oh no, where's this come back? I've gone, "Yeah, unfortunately." And he's gone, "I've got a business proposition for you." I've got, it weren't a contract killing, it was it was a domestic. He's gone, "Go and get your suited and booted, get your best outfit gone, and meet me in that pub." So I've gone, right. Thinking, oh no, he's either wants to kill me, he either wants me to be an escort, I don't know what's going on. By this time, it's in the 2000s, I've got no eyebrows, I'm not attractive at this point, so I'm thinking maybe I'm not, he doesn't want an escort. I've got suited booted, I've met him in this pub, and there's a pile of money on the table. And I've gone, okay, what the hell's going on here? He's gone, "This is for turning up." And I'm like, okay, I'm getting groomed. This is what's happening here. He's gone to me, "What do you know about cooking books?" So I'm thinking, Jamie Oliver, Gordon Ramsay. And I've gone, "Oh, yeah, I know enough. I haven't got a clue. I'm clueless, completely clueless, but I've styled it out." And he's gone, "Right, this is my number. Call me in 2 days." By this point, I've gone back to the flat with all this money. My boyfriend's gone, where have you had that? What have you done for that? I've gone, "No, I promise you, all I did was turn up." And he's like, "Well, that's suspect to me." And I'm like, "Well, listen, we're skin. I can't get a job because I've gone for every job interview going in the town. They know me as the local stabber, let's say. Unfortunately, I can't get a job anywhere. So I'm literally left with no choice. I know, Sean, sorry, I've got to make a joke out of you. Let's lift the mood."
Indeed.
Anyway, 2 days later, I've gone out with this guy. And he's took me to a little village bank. I'm stood in this village bank. The next thing I know, he's gone to get a substantial amount of money from the counter. Wee, wee, wee. Alarms are going off, shutters are going down. I'm like, no. I'm already looking at 8 years. No, don't drag me into this. I've gone, I don't want to say his name, but I've gone, like, mate. I said, "Look, I'm already looking at 8 years. I know you might think that this is what I want to do, but it's really not. You know, and I'm having a go at this Shoreditch gangster in the flipping bank. Anyway, he's managed to get the money, but the guy from the back said, I've told you you're not to have any more money until I've seen your books. And then, light bulb moment, I'm like, oh, okay. This is what is needed to be done. Anyway, luckily, you know, before I got myself into any situations, my court case came. So let's just leave it there.
Yes, let's.
Yeah.
So court case, does this involve a trial or some kind of plea bargain?
So yeah, they sent me to trial, then it got adjourned on one occasion because what they were trying to do is get the baby out, so they didn't have the paperwork of having a baby in prison. But my solicitor said to me, what did she say? There's mother and baby units, so you'll be fine. She's like, the best option you've got now is to get yourself remanded so that you've got more chance of keeping your baby in prison. I know this sounds horrendous, but yes, it happened. So I've gone to the judge. I want to be remanded, please. You know, just let's get it started. This is what it is. I'm guilty, boom, let's go. He said, okay, fine, yeah, remanded. So at this point, I've gone guilty. I did it anyway. You know, there's no point dragging out a trial and wasting public money and all the rest of it. So I am remanded.